Hey, so this is another one of my blogs. I decided that I'm going to do this one on my recent decision to date God. I guess you could say I'm going to completely commit and renew my life, my body, my soul, my spirit, everything is going to be completely focused on God. I'm sure you're wondering what led me to this decision, and I believe that it's God-led. I believe it's something that God's wanted me to do for a while, but I think that I was afraid of being alone or afraid that I was never going to be in a relationship. And I think that God's proven to me that I'm never going to be single. I have people who hit on me, and I have, people who want to be with me, but I think that God is really trying to, like how I use that metaphor for the foreclosed house. Like, I think that God really wants to do, like, some reconstruction, he wants to completely do some interior designing inside of me, and I'm kind of excited to see what he's going to do. It's not because of a particular person, and I don't know if the man that I'm going to be with is currently in my life, and I'm learning that that's not my decision to make to begin with. So, so I'm just really excited, and I think that I need to be internally changed before I can be with someone. I think that a lot of people, tend to get married for financial purposes, but I don't need a guy financially. I want a partner. I want a best friend, and I just can't wait till I find him. And how I know that this is God-led, I'm sure that's a question. Like, how do I know that God's talking to me? I think a lot of people question, how do you know that God's talking to you? And I'm going to tell you, it all led to this. So I was actually in a relationship that wasn't glorifying to God. We'll just leave it at that. And I made the decision to end it. Whenever I ended it, I just felt so alone and so just uncertain on a lot of things. I had a lot of doubt, a lot of worries, a lot of questions like running through my mind, and I just didn't know what to think. And so I was actually on my way to the store, I was on my way to work. It was in the morning, and I had left early. And as I'm going to work, I'm heading down 32nd Street, and on the right is Walgreens, and I just had this impulse thought. Like, it was a nonstop, like an OCD. It was like a little kid, like when a little kid walks up to you and is like, I want this, 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 I want this. And you're just like, like, that's how I felt. I felt like I had to turn in there, and I was like, no, I'll do it later. It's like, I can get a notebook anywhere. So then I keep going, get on 31, and then I'm heading to my branch. This was when I worked at Chemical in Zealand, and so then as I'm pulling in, I'm like, dang, I cannot get this thought out of my head. Like, now it was like forcing me to go to family fair, and it was just continuous, and I'm like, I was like, I didn't want to do it, and I was like, all right, you win. So I go to family fair, in turn, by a journal. This journal ended up being my prayer journal for my future husband. Say it's weird, whatever. I figure I'm praying for someone. I'm praying to better his life and to better circumstances that he's going through, and I'm hoping that I can be that intercessor for him whenever he's having these hard times. And the awesome thing is, he has no clue that I'm praying for him. Every day it's like, I do two things. In the very front of my journal, which I don't want to show you, but there's a checklist that I have for my future husband, and it's not ridiculous things. Like, a lot of people's like, well, what's on this list, And I'm like, it's simple things. Like, I'll tell you, one of them is, it's actually my number one top priority, must be a Christian, and he must have a heart for God and continually be seeking God. Like, I think that that's one reason why I haven't met this guy yet. I think that, he may be kind of in that life battle like I'm in, and it's like God's always there. I'm like a boomerang. I always come back, but I think that he's just really trying to build both of us up. And how can I expect him to be prepared if I'm not prepared? And so, like, as I go through my journey for this 365 days, I'm going to be praying for him. along with it. And it's just going to be kind of a unity thing. And I just can't wait. I think it's going to be really exciting. But anyways, back to the checklist. If you do decide to do this, I think that your checklist needs to be real. I think, you can't expect, okay, you have to look at this like, do you want, what would you want him to say about you? You can't be like, oh, perfect body and, I don't know. You can't, I guess you could. It's your checklist and it's what you want. But I think that, as you're making that checklist, you need to pray and ask God. And you need to see if it coordinates with what the Bible would tell you, for a future husband. I would recommend qualities. Like you can say kind-hearted, loves children, loves dogs, loves whatever. But I just think that that's how your checklist should be. Like, don't base your checklist off of physical things because we all learn that what's up must come down. I'm just saying. But anyways, yeah. So just like, I think you need to be careful when it comes to your checklist. I think you can ask that they're attractive, but I wouldn't go too deep on the physical appearance. But again, it's your checklist and, I want God's best. This checklist is like things that I want in a husband, but like ultimately, like I want what God wants best. And I think that God's changing me. And I think a lot of times your checklist can change throughout life. Like if you would ask me 5 years ago what was on my checklist, I probably would have been like, well, I want him hot and I want him to have muscles and he's got to have abs and like all of these things. But, now that I'm more grown up and I think a little bit more mature, my what I want in a man is different. It's more, I want to be loved. I want to be supported. I want to be best friends. Like, that's the kind of qualities that I'm looking for. But again, just be careful. But anyways, in my journal, I do 2 things. I write 2 pages a night. You can choose. You can do paragraphs. You can do lines. You can do, it's your journal, But I pray on 1 page. And then on the other page, then I'll do a journal. Or not like a journal, but like a diary to him. Like, hey, I'm thinking about you today. I don't always do it that way, but it's not consistent. But I try to pray for him at least every day. And it's really awesome because one time whenever I was doing it, it really felt like the one time it was really cool because sometimes I'll cut out little images or like things in a magazine about relationships and I'll put that in here. But again, it's your journal, so you can do it however you want. And I'm actually on the page. It says, until God's love and acceptance is enough, nothing else will be. So I felt like he was having issues with acceptance and like peer pressure and like whatever else. And it was really weird because then I found that and then I put that in here and then I prayed that whatever he was going through, that he would go through this. And I think that sometimes whenever you're praying, that can be a part of it. Okay. Now I'm going to go to another subject. You're already in a relationship. Okay. Say that your guy has issues. Say that, and don't, maybe not even issues, just things that you dislike or, qualities that you don't want. And I think, okay, this is what I think you should do in that situation because I've actually been asked this. I was actually asked this last weekend. What would I do in that circumstance? This is what I would do. I think you should do a journal. I think journaling is awesome no matter what, whether it's a prayer journal for yourself, a prayer journal for your future husband, a prayer journal for your husband and for your relationship, whatever you think is best. But I think journaling is awesome because I think that it would be really awesome to be able to come back and say, wow, he transformed or I transformed through the process from praying for him. Because like whenever I pray for things for my future husband, like acceptance and peer pressure, like I use that example, I pray that for myself. I think that's something that we all deal with, So just make sure when you're praying for something for them that you're praying for that for yourself too, because you kind of want to change together. And if, in this next 365 days, I'm praying for him every day for like everything that I can think of and just like loving him through the process and I just hope that he feels it, But I'm getting off subject. What I wanted to say was that if you're in a relationship, say your husband's like a non-believer or I don't know. I'm trying to think of examples. There's like so many things, Say he doesn't clean enough, or say he doesn't work out with you, or say he doesn't go to church with you, or, whatever. But I'm going to stick on the religion thing. Say he's non-religious, maybe he's a different religion. We'll use like atheism as an example. So he's an atheist and he doesn't believe in God. I've learned in the past, I was in a relationship for a long time, and all I tried to do to that guy was change. And I'm single. And where did that get me? Me constantly trying to change him got me nowhere. And it wasn't like I felt like I was bettering him. I felt like I knew what was better for him. And, he loved his friends and loved his video games and loved his sports. And I love video games. I don't mind watching sports, but I wanted a time to feel special and whatever else, but instead I would nag, and then that would cause arguments and whatever. I vowed after that relationship that I will not fight. I will not fight. I think, fighting happens, but I have decided that it's going to be a conversation. I'm not going to let someone ever speak disrespectfully to me. I'm not going to let someone put me down. And I'm not going to yell at each other. If I love someone, I'm not going to yell at them. Like, I think your tone alone is hurtful to them. So what I'm saying is that you need to cool down, get out of that emotion, and then come back and say, because it's like, then you're like, oh, I'm sorry. But then, those words really damage you. Like, I don't know about you, but I hold those inside and I take offense to those. Like, maybe he'll say something disrespectful or something about like your weight, or about, just something, like out of anger, because he knows that person, or she may know what will get to you, I'm just saying it's not worth it. The name calling's not worth it. The mean tone, the degrading, that's not love. If we honestly were to look up the verse on love, which I'm about to do, then you'll realize that love, after all, has nothing to do with being mean or being harsh to each other. It's 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 8, I believe, is the Bible verse. Here it is. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking, and it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongdoings. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. Let's go over that again. So love's patient and it's kind. Okay, so I'm going to wait 365 days. And I'm going to pray every day for that person that I want in my life. Wherever he is, and I know that every day I'm going to be able to help him get through that day. So it does not envy. Can't be jealous, especially when you first get into a relationship, or when you first start talking to a guy and maybe you added each other on Facebook, or maybe you see him talking to a girl. Like, you can't be envious. You just have to trust that, if that guy's the one for you, that it's going to work out. No one's ever going to be able to intervene. It does not boast, and it is not proud. So don't brag. Don't think that you're any better than Joe and Susie down the road. Each relationship's different. You need to have respect for their relationship just as yours. Don't hold your relationship any higher. You need to look at your relationship on an equal level. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. Typically, arguments are because you're looking for something for yourself. You're mad about something, or he's mad about something, or she's mad about something. Someone's mad. And so then you get into this argument because you both think that you're right. You're both self-seeking, and you're being easily angered. Keeps no record of wrongdoings. How many times have you gotten into a fight? Right away it's like, oh, well, you did this, and you did that, and you did this, and, blah, blah, blah. Love doesn't do that. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, so no being envious, no being jealous, always hopes and always perseveres. Love never fails. So you should have no worry or anxiousness or jealousness, because love is going to last through it. But I just want to let you know that, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single and you're praying for that special guy to come into your life, you need to trust God. You need to not be jealous of those that are around you, because it's so easy. It's so easy for me to look at people that I know and say, oh, why are they in this relationship and blah, blah, blah. It's so easy to be envious of these people and say, I deserve him more than that person does, or, whatever. It's so easy to think that, but that's not the person for you. And if it is, then you need to pray. You just need to pray and ask God to bring that special person to you, whoever he is, and ask him to change you in the process and make you the person that, this man is going to need. Because you need to make sure that you're going to be able to help him through everything. It's a partnership. And, I don't know. I just am saying, okay, so say you're in a relationship and you want to start a journal and you want to pray for this person. I would just say that you should, if there's something that's irritating you about this person, about their religion, or about the things that they do or the things that they don't do, write them down and just ask God how to handle them, and just journal in there every day and just say, God, if there are things that I need to change as well in the process, show them to me, reveal those things to me, and he will. I think you'll be shocked. And I think, again, that's why I'm going through this process. I think that he's trying to transform me, and I think that I've been so focused on, I gotta find Mr. Right, and he's sitting there going, no, I got Mr. Right. I got him, but you have to first, you have some things, you have some interior designing that needs to be fixed. I need to fix this heart. All the pieces that I decided to give away when I was younger to all of these different people who I thought were the one. I have a total transformation and a purification process that I need to go through, and I'm really excited because I think I'm going to be completely renewed, and I'm going to be a brand new package for this guy, wherever he is, whether I know him now or not. Yeah, I'm just really excited to see what God has in store for me, and I hope that, this is uplifting or encouraging you as well. Just always know that God has a plan and a purpose for you, and it's an amazing one. And if you just completely, fully seek him and give yourself to him and just surrender all of those worries and cast all your cares upon him, then he's going to be there for you. And, yeah, it's going to be really awesome, I actually quoted the song Casting Crowns, in one of my previous videos, and it was the song about how, God's already there, and he's already there, and he's waiting, for us to get there. He already knows what struggles and obstacles we're going to have to go through in order to get where we need to be, and that's why we just need to be trusting towards him. Just know that, he's the light at the end of the tunnel. And when things get hard, you just need to say, okay, God, give me the tools I need, and he's gonna provide for you. So, on that note, I have to go to bed. I have to work tomorrow, of course. And I hope, again, that this was uplifting. And if there's anything that you'd like me to talk on, if there's any specifics, then I will come back and talk. It's just really kind of tough whenever I have to work and stuff. But I want to be helpful, I think that, not only am I mentoring myself, but I'm mentoring other people too as well. So have a good night and God bless you. Thank you.